Well, the merge is more than likely going to happen. The FCC is up to them now, and John Kerry.
It may. It should not happen, and it has nothing to do with it being a competing medium or any. I'm just not in favor of any monopolies. And I think our industry, the terrestrial broadcast industry, is over-deregulated too.
Over-deregulated?
Yeah, I think that you shouldn't be able to own as many radio stations as we own in this community.
Wow.
On an AM and an FM, and that's it.
Huh.
And then there's greater diversity. Here, fortunately, both the guys across the street and I hope us are very community-minded and don't try to grab power and convince people to only feel the way we feel. But that could happen if media outlets are controlled by very, very few people. The only news you'll hear is the news that the owners of those facilities want you to hear.
Well, but then again...
Dangerous. That's dangerous.
Well, how many people get their news these days from the Internet, including News Junkie, as opposed to broadcast?
Well, I don't think that. I think some people do. I mean, that,
Oh, no. Our own congressman. Did you hear the scenario that I presented at the outset of today's show?
He was down in Washington. How is he going to be listening to, the border?
No, I'm not talking about that.
Washington.
I'm saying that he probably has all the major newspapers right at his disposal. Now, not that the Washington Post is going to be talking about our lousy Senate race up here, but more than likely, and a powerful man like that does get a lot of his local information right from News Junkie.
Well, I bet he gets to be honest with you, I bet he goes on the newspaper's website.
Yeah,
after he does. That's where he gets his news. But News Junkie's a great place to go to, and so is radio, and so is television. I mean, the difference between now and 10 years ago, 5 years ago, is that there are more places to go. But that doesn't mean that radio and television aren't great places to go for news and information, because they continue to be.
Let's just use an example, something that I think people can more or less understand. Then I got to do a break. You look at Channel 7, for instance. They were approached by the Fox people about 8 years ago in order so that they can use their low-power TV station, which, by the way, they did purchase from the old Smith Broadcasting Group at Channel 50. I know someone's corrected me on this before, but I'm going to go with it anyway. They got this low power. FCC changed the rules and regulations as far as must carry and power, capacity and so forth. And as a result of that license with the low power channel 28, I think it was, or 25, they were able to put Fox on. Now, would Fox, our local Fox, be better if someone other than Channel 7 owned it and only owned the channel 28 Fox station? My answer would be
I don't know the answer to that. I'm speaking
the answer is yes, of course.
In a global sense, I'm speaking.
I think it's easy to understand. I'm talking locally now. You're talking globally. To understand how, for instance, if a company owned Fox, we would have a different outlook on their whole news. I mean, let's face it, Channel 7 has an old look to their news, and it fits the CBS format, and it fits an established station that's been here forever. And if we had some type of upbeat, and of course at the same time, Channel 50 reduced their news product over the last 5-6 years to practically nothing. And as a result, they really don't have what you refer to as a community spirit or a reflection. So,
well, I have to say Channel 7 does a very, very
do a very good job, but my point is, and I'm not dispelling that, I agree with you.
They do a very good job. I like the news over there.
I know, and not to mention the teleprompters. But the thing is, and I still don't understand that. The thing is, if another company had...
They were busy. I could do it without...
No.
It's all right.
If another company, like yourself, for instance, said, hey, we're going to start the Fox station, we're going to run it all by ourselves, you would only hope that they would make a better commitment where they would stand alone and commit all their efforts to one station as opposed to just making it as a back burner operation. That's
in a market, in a community this size, it's very...
I know what you're going to say.
It's expensive to run a news division.
You know what, though? I think you're missing the point. I think that if somehow or other you got the station and you kept your costs down and you don't go out and do it like the old days where you hire 20 people and 16 trucks and 5 different Ikegami cameras at $80,000 a piece, you could put on a news product and still look very presentable in a small market like this. Only if you dedicated all your efforts to one news product and one news product alone.
Yeah, I think it'd be very, very, very tough, and I think that because there's just not that much ad revenue in a market this size.
Well, yeah, but I just think that as a result of their I don't want to call it a monopoly, but look at it. They got two major networks in one little town.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not a monopoly, though, Glenn. They've done an amazingly good job, and they did it. Not that Channel 50 doesn't do a good job. It's just that Channel 7's been doing a great job for so long.
They're the legacy. They're the establishment.
Very difficult to beat them.
It is, but I'm just saying that if you or someone else with some cash, if Craig Fox came up here and actually made some right decisions when he started a TV station, he could probably make a better go of it. That's all I'm saying. That's enterprise. That's competition.
10 years ago or 15 years ago, I think that's true. I'm not so sure right now.
With a low-power TV station,
tough world out there, right?
And you get must-carry on cable. That's not a big investment as much you might think.
Well, you get must-carry on cable, but you don't get network compensation, which means
that's okay. And neither does 50. Trust me.
In the old days, what network compensation is, in the old days, the network would pay local television stations to carry their programming, and they don't do that anymore.
Well, and they would also base it on market share, too.
Well, of course, market share, market size. The whole kit and caboodle.
And 7 lost that, maybe this year or last year?
I don't know when, but, they lost a substantial amount of
That's like
revenue.
$750 million.
They've done such a great job. I'm sure they're doing fine.
I know. They did a great job. My point, and again, I'm going to stand by my conviction here, if an entity is solely owned by one person or one organization as opposed to being shared by a bigger organization that's got other companies and other properties, it could do better, it could prosper.
In a big world, when you take away the economy, take away the economics out of that, there's no question. Fox News, in general, local Fox television stations are very fast-paced, upbeat,
sure,
kind of younger skewing.
Let's start at 10 o'clock.
Newscast. They often, it's the news at 10.
Right.
And it's fun. The news in New York on the Fox affiliate, which is owned by Fox, Channel 5,
right,
is a lot of fun to watch.
It is, and it's like
a lot of fun to watch.
It's like picking up the New York Post. You never know what you're going to get.
It sounds like a box of chocolate.
Same people. And again, you talk about monopoly, and I say that, okay, let's divest and let's separate things and see how the big boys can work with competition, whether it be a small market or not. I think it's very healthy. That's all.
I totally agree with you, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, that I know is not going to happen, but I use it as an example to demonstrate what could have happened.
It's in every industry, and the country is becoming an oligarchy.
Well,
it's
not good. Whether that word means something that makes it look like any other city, which I believe it is.
It means a lot of power in the hands of the few.
Oh, okay.
Know that.
No, I did not know that. I'm sorry. I did not do that well on my SAT examinations. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's what it means.
But what I refer to America as is that we're one big Arsenal Street. There's an Arsenal Street in every town.
Well, there is. Yeah, no question.
But that's not just for fast food and gas stations. I think that's applicable to everything. When you have Mobil and Exxon, join hands as an acquisition together, as a merger together.
Yeah,
that defies everything that Teddy Roosevelt and the whole antitrust movement was at the turn of the 20th century. We are going backwards.
Well, you're right. I mean, they had these laws. There were a couple of them. One was the Sherman Act, and the other was the Lanham Act, and they prevented too much consolidation, and nobody seems to care. And there was a day when banks couldn't own investment companies.
But now they
very recently, and
now they have to. They're the only people that can bail out in bad investments.
Well, I have a feeling that some of the bad investments are a result of that.
Certainly,
you could commingle what happened with banks, and it was to their advantage to push investments in certain cases, and it hurt. It hurt the economy in general, I think.
It hurts. It freaking hurts. Sorry, inside joke. All right, well, thanks, John. I got to take this call. It might be Bruce Mittman.
It probably is.
No, it's not.
He'll probably tell me that I'm way too liberal
and talking too much.
The pot calling the kettle Jewish.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you in a bit. That's Jim Leven. We got 14 minutes before the hour. We're going to get into a break after this commercial, after this phone call.